Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, like the video, and share it. This channel, we share books and novels. On this video, we talk about best novel. Her name is Jumana Novel Book 2. So let's go in the video. As they flew, Eklil asked, curious about the wise one's fear. Why are you afraid? I'm not afraid. I read fear in your eyes, and I know how to read eyes. You mean eyes? He corrected mockingly, then added, if only you knew how to speak properly. Why are you afraid? He repeated. After a brief silence, the wise one answered, because Asif was not sure if Ayub would be there or not. So what? You know nothing about those tribes. That's why you're not worried. But I've read things that inspire fear. They are extremely powerful, and no one has ever defeated them. Rumor has it they are the strongest beings to ever walk the earth. We're just asking about Ayub. Eklil said as if he saw no reason to worry. If we go there and don't find him, they'll kill us because they don't trust strangers, the wise one explained. Eklil was silent for a moment, then asked, why? Did you not hear me, you fool, when I said they don't trust strangers? Why didn't you tell Asif? Because if I had, he might have called off the mission. Eklil continued flying westward until he spotted the towering black mountain range with the sun setting behind it. He knew they had arrived at their destination. Hold tight, we're going up, he said, increasing his altitude to cross the peaks. But as soon as he entered the airspace of that region, a member of the Ashawis tribes intercepted him. It was a massive black creature with a bizarre form, half-man, half-winged horse, with a muscular human torso and head. He held a glowing axe in one hand and spoke in a heavy voice. What brings you to this region? At that moment, Eklil felt a warm liquid seeping onto his back. He whispered, what have you done, wise one? What's this I feel on my back? Sorry, I couldn't control my bladder. Eklil chuckled nervously. The centaur yelled, what are you two whispering about? Nothing important. Don't worry about our trivial matters, said the wise one, trembling. Then he whispered to Eklil, oh heavens, I think I'm losing control over another part of my body. Hold it in, wise one, don't do it. I'm trying, but it's slipping out. Then he added, Eklil, have you ever seen anything this terrifying in one of your nightmares? The centaur approached swiftly. Despite Eklil's recently increased size, the centaur grabbed his entire body with one hand. You didn't answer my question. What brings you here? Eklil replied, we are looking for Ayub. The centaur paused upon hearing the name, then said, there is no one here by that name. The wise one spoke from within the centaur's grip. It seems we have the wrong place. May we leave? With pleasure. You are indeed a gentleman. If only all centaurs were like you. You'll be leaving life itself, the centaur declared as he began squeezing them tightly, intending to strangle them. Eklil struggled to break free, but the grip was too strong. He couldn't move a muscle. As death drew near and they found themselves in a dire situation, Eklil said with confidence, wise one, hold on to me tightly. What are you going to do? Eklil felt a burning heat within his body, and a violent tremor shook him from the inside. Suddenly, his right eye turned crimson red, the same color Asif's left eye took on when enraged. Eklil opened his beak and, in a way he could not explain, unleashed a burst of flames that burned the centaur's hand. He broke free and took flight, his feathers turning completely red. The wise one shouted, fly as fast as you can. Eklil tried to escape with all his speed, but many Ashawis tribesmen surrounded him from every direction. They had the bodies of winged horses with human torsos and heads, aiming glowing swords, arrows, axes, and spears at him. Eklil, his speech more fluent and eloquent after his transformation, called out, we did not come to harm anyone. Why don't you let us leave in peace? An elderly centaur woman approached them. Her lower body and wings were white, and her face had human features, except for lynx-like ears. Her hair was gray, and she had a slightly sagging belly, though it seemed well-maintained for her age. She strapped her sagging breasts with grass-made bands and held a glowing spear. She said, these mountains have been forbidden to all but the Ashawis and their friends since ancient times. We came searching for our friend, not for any other purpose, madam. Eklil said. The elderly centaur looked around, seeming embarrassed. Did you call me madam, you polite bird? Yes, and you're a beautiful lady too. Stop it, you're making me blush, she said playfully, despite the tense situation. The wise one whispered to Eklil, I always knew you were a womanizer, but I didn't know you were into centaurs too. Eklil introduced himself. My name is Eklil, and this is my friend, the wise one. The old centaur, with a hint of amusement, said, my name is Jahima. Bahima, beast, the wise one blurted out, laughing. Why on earth would your name be Beast? All the centaurs glared at him angrily. Eklil whispered urgently, we're going to die because of your big mouth. Jahima regained her seriousness and asked, who is the person you are seeking? A friend we believe is staying with you, Eklil answered. Is he a centaur? No, a gorilla. One of the centaurs snapped angrily. Are you you mocking us, mouse? The wise one muttered with frustration. These people have no sense of humor. Iklil said, no, he is a human, and his name is Ayub. Jahima scratched her head with the tip of her finger as if searching her memory, while it was clear from the reaction of the other centaurs that none of them knew anyone by that name. However, Jahima suddenly spoke as though she had remembered something. It seems we are about to die for nothing. Perhaps you mean that black human who is a friend of our tribe's princess, Ashawis? Iklil and the wise man exclaimed at the same time. He is our friend, the one we are searching for. Jahima led them through the air until they reached the entrance of a dark cave, guarded by 7 centaurs with long hair and beards. They looked different from the creatures they had seen earlier. These centaurs were taller and stronger, and each had 4 wings on their back that appeared longer and more capable of flight and speed. Stop, one of the cave guards said, blocking the path. Who are these? They say they are Ayub's friends, she whispered, clarifying. The princess's friend. The centaur made way for them to pass without commenting, and they continued walking. Our land lies there, Jahima said, pointing toward the cave's opening. The wise man asked in amazement, you live inside a cave? No, this is the gateway to our land. The wise man and Iklil were shocked. As soon as they passed through the cave's mouth, they found themselves in a vast, thriving land where the sun was shining, despite it having already set over the kingdom of Ababil. It was an expansive, green, mountainous land filled with meadows, forests, and rivers. What made it even more beautiful were the closely packed houses carved into the high mountains, resembling palaces in their grandeur. Jahima asked, can you fly high, Phoenix? Iklil, who had not yet tested his new powers since coming of age, said, I think so. Then try to follow me. Jahima flew high, followed by Iklil. They soared past the accumulated white clouds and continued into the upper layers of the sky until they reached the highest peak in the entire land. By the time they arrived, Iklil was exhausted due to the extreme altitude and opposing air currents. The wise man, on the other hand, looked irritable and worn out. What's wrong, wise one? I feel like my head is splitting open from the inside, Iklil. It's the pressure, Jahima said, because of the high altitude. He angrily replied, why did you bring us here? She pointed ahead with her hand and said, that is the palace of our princess, Ashawis. Your friend Ayub resides there. The wise man looked toward where she pointed, but saw nothing due to the drifting fog in the air. It seems old age has made your head senile, he said. Jahima, annoyed by his mention of aging, retorted, it seems there's a rat who wants to leave this land without his tongue. Or perhaps there's a rat who will end up with his. Wait, wise one. Iklil interrupted him, pointing with his wing. She's right. There is a large palace beyond the fog. Jahima led them through the palace's corridors, illuminated by burning lanterns hanging from the rocky walls, until they stopped in front of a stone chamber with a curtain for a door. She tapped the ground 3 times with her hoof, and the curtain moved aside. A black-skinned man, with a height and breadth no human should possess, emerged from behind it.